Hi everyone, welcome to week 7. My name is Mackenzie and for my presentation we are looking at the allocation of water resources across competing demands, what issues arise and how they can be addressed. I'm going to use Cape Town as a case study for this issue. But firstly, what is water? Water is the foundation of all life on our planet, where not only it is essential for human needs, but it is vital for our natural ecosystems and the production of food and energy, as well as economic security and cultural beliefs. Water covers 70% of our planet, but only 3% is fresh water that is available for use. Water use has increased at twice the rate of global population in the last century, and certain countries around the world are reaching a limit at which water services can be sustainably supplied. As a result, water scarcity in the sense of lack of quality and quantity of fresh water is an increasing global issue. Cape Town is situated in the Western Cape Province, located in the southwest corner of South Africa. It is a semi-arid province with a Mediterranean-type climate that receives an average rainfall of approximately 450 millimeters per year. The population of the Western Cape is approximately 6 million people, with 4 million residing in Cape Town itself. The Western Cape region is a high producer of agricultural exports that account for 60% of the country's produce and contributes 20% towards South Africa's total agricultural production. It is therefore a region that requires a sustainable water resource. The 3-year drought during 2015-18 saw Cape Town's water supply drastically depleted to unprecedented levels. Fortunately, a combination of water-saving techniques and restrictions of allocations to various users, along with much-needed winter rainfall in 2018, maintained and subsequently replenished the city's supply. This brings us to the issue of allocating water resources across competing demands. Demands for water access is rising, predominantly due to population growth, economic development, and climate change. In South Africa, much like the rest of the world, there is competition across various sectors as to whom, how, when, and where the water resources is accessed and used. Nationally, the main sectors requiring water include agriculture, municipal, which is rural and urban, mining, commercial, industry, and energy. In Cape Town, approximately 2/3 of water allocation is for urban use, which includes residential, commercial, and industrial use, and the remainder is allocated to agriculture for irrigation. So what are the issues with water allocation? Deciding who gets allocated how much of the limited water resource is a key issue and can be a very costly decision, both in terms of environmental and socio-economic, as each sector provides its own set of important aspects contributing to the socio-economic well-being of a country. Simply put, agriculture is a producer of food for local consumption as well as exportation. Mining is a producer of minerals for commodities or energy. Energy is a source of electricity, both used locally and exported to neighbouring countries. Commercial industry is important for production of goods and services, jobs and wealth creation. Municipality is important as it is the people, with a growing population, wastewater treatment, potable drinking water. Environment, ecosystem is important for sustaining the quality and quantity of the water resource and biodiversity. Further issues can include government legislation. Generally, legislation and policy requires water resources to be allocated in a fair and equitable manner across sectors, while at the same time being sustainable for the environment. For instance, in South Africa, the National Water Act stipulates that national government has overall responsibility for and authority over water resource management. Furthermore, South Africa's constitution states that water is a constitutional right for human consumption. Climate change affects yield, reliability, available water, and assurance of supply to each sector. Cape Town has been affected by unreliable weather patterns with infrequent rainfall, thereby reducing the supply of available water in its water sources, which affected the available yield, that is, the volume of water which can be abstracted at a certain rate over a period of time for urban and agricultural use. So how can issues of water allocation be addressed? Water governance and management is essential in addressing these issues. Generally, restricted water supply to sectors has occurred because management has failed to apply a whole systems approach to water resources. Further, A water crisis can be identified as a governance crisis where the institutions put in place have failed to build resilience and adapt to the changing conditions. Therefore, by applying the whole systems approach, we obtain a collective understanding of the wider issues and those affected. This is done in collaboration with a wide set of stakeholders, thereby taking action and continually monitoring and evaluating the plans. By integrating various stakeholders from all sectors, including governments, farmers, urban and industrial users, and environmental specialists, we can apply an adaptive management approach to enable critical decision making as well as effective learning, monitoring, evaluating of each sector's requirements for water allocation use. Simply focusing on one issue or sector's requirements can often have unintended consequences in another. For instance, serious restrictions were placed on both urban and agricultural sectors in Cape Town during the drought. Once allocations were used, the municipality cut supply. However, due to the constitutional right to water for human consumption and potentially significant health concerns, water could not be cut off per se to the urban sector. Water was, however, cut off to farmers once their allocations were exhausted. Farmers who did not have their own access to boreholes or dams suffered intensely. The result in the agricultural sector was 30,000 job losses, and export dropped by 13 to 20%, with an economic loss of 5.9 billion. In Cape Town, along with many other parts of the world, allocating water is determined by local circumstances, as there is no one approach to be applied to all. Effective water allocation processes are required to manage the use of this limited resource. With increased urbanisation, the necessity for agricultural and industrial production, as well as climate change, water allocations need to cover all sectors to ensure basic human needs, economic development, and importantly, healthy ecosystems are sustained. Thank you all, and I will talk to you this week.